gentlemen, I give you Mr. Dustin Anderson.
Thank you, administration, faculty, school board, parents, friends, and family. I'm truly humbled and honored to be here today. You know, Mr. Johnson caught me in the wings before I came out here tonight. He and I are pretty close, and he said, "Dustin, I'm sure your speech is amazing already, but do you want to know the secret to make all of these people love you?" I said, "Yeah, Mr. J, KJ, Kev, spill it. Tell me how to make all these people love me." He grabbed me by the arm, and with a big smile, he said, "Keep this speech under 5 minutes." Class of 2017, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here today, a day that is truly yours. See, it's been almost 20 years to the day that I was sitting in that same chair that you sit in today. Well, not literally the same chair, because that wouldn't make very much sense. Why would I have been sitting in over 100 chairs on the same day? And I guess the better question would be, who's been taking such good care of those chairs? I actually mean figuratively. Now, I don't remember much about the day I graduated. I certainly don't know if we had a commencement speaker, and if we did, well, I clearly don't remember. I do remember that my father was standing a bit taller, full of pride. My mother looked as pretty as ever, and I had my pager on vibrate because I didn't want it to go off during the ceremony. Yes, this was a time before everyone had a cell phone, and beeper was the only preferred method of communication. Now, the day that I found out that I was going to speak here at this graduation, I was really excited. I told Miss B that I couldn't believe they even wanted me to do this. Surely there was a former Lorena Leopard that was more successful, more decorated. Miss B replied, "Of course, Dustin, there are a ton of former students that are more successful and more decorated. We just can't get any of them here on a Thursday night, so you're really all we have." I know. I took my phone away from my head and I went, "Yes!" Put my phone back to my ear and I said, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." I went straight home to talk to my family about this. My wife, Rebecca, was completely supportive. My oldest daughter, an incoming senior, simply said, "Please, Father." Side note, I'm not dad or daddy anymore in my house, I'm father. She says, "Please, Father, don't do this. I know you'll embarrass me." I'm sorry, Haley. Daddy loves you. My middle child, an incoming freshman, completely used to Dad's embarrassment, so Hannah shrugged off the entire conversation. And my youngest, 10-year-old Holden, said, "Daddy, that is so lit." I'm pretty sure that lit used to mean something else. So between this being lit and my memory of my graduation, including a beeper or a pager, I decided it would be important that I was able to speak to you with terminology that you understood and could relate to. So I jumped on the ever-popular and highly touted Urban Dictionary for help. At this point, Mr. Johnson is immediately regretting allowing me to do this. But that's okay, because here's the thing. I don't want this speech to be a speech that anyone else would give. I mean, that's so basic. And we all know Lorena Leopards aren't basic. My time at Lorena was probably very similar to yours. In fact, some of the same teachers that taught me are still teaching today. I remember taking 3 years of German as a foreign language with Frau Holt. Our first day, Frau Holt. She made us pick an authentic German name. I couldn't decide on just one, so I picked two. When Frau Holt insisted that I picked one, I insisted that I did pick one, a first name and a middle name, but regardless, it was one name nonetheless. I can still hear her say, "Andreas Amadeus, sprech das Kaugummi aus." That translates to, "Dustin, go spit out your gum." Frau Holt was very serious or salty about the gum rule. See, even the most structured environments, you can find a way to adapt and be called two names when one is all that's necessary. A small victory, I know, but I believe success, while a relative term, can be achieved through small victories or being on point. As a side note, if I'm ever in Germany, I can still fluently ask, "How did you come to school today? By airplane?" It's not likely that there will ever be an event in your lifetime like high school graduation. Never again will a community of people, or fam, come together for one purpose. See, the last 12 or 13 years of your lives have been carefully planned by all the amazing people around you to get you here to this day. It's actually kind of sad or weak that this incredible culmination of events are not likely to ever happen again. At the same time, it's also very exciting. See, after today, you'll no longer be the guy that did that one thing in the game against Robinson. You won't be the girl that sat quietly in the back of the classroom. You won't be that guy that farted in algebra class your sophomore year. Well, actually, you may always be that guy. No finger pointing. Listen, my point is that you're no longer defined by what's happened with this group or squad over the course of those 12 or 13 years. Tomorrow, you get to be a new you, and my advice is simple: embrace it. The poet and great philosopher Kendrick Lamar says, "Just let me be me." That's the only way I know. Just let me be me. That's the only way I know. What I think Mr. Lamar is saying here is simple. He doesn't know any other way than to be himself. So stop trying to make him be someone else. I encourage you to adopt this way of thinking. Each of you are headed down a different path, and my advice does not waver regardless of your path. Some of you will join the workforce and get a job or start adulting. Others will attend a community college or a four-year college. Others of you may be joining our military, and if so, let me thank you now in advance for your selfless commitment to my freedom. Despite your path, you will struggle. There will be hard times. You will fail, and it will hurt. How you choose to handle that hurt, that failure, will impact the next struggle. See, you will not obtain anything in life without hard work. There are no overnight successes, unless, of course, you look like Justin Bieber. So, Cole Baker, you have a chance of being an overnight success. But with hard work and success will come criticism and judgment from others. Oftentimes, I've heard how lucky I am I get to be on TV. How lucky I am my father had a good business. Again, how lucky I am that my father gave me his business. The truth is, my father worked very hard to make his business work. There are countless times that he struggled. The truth is that I bought my share into the company, and I bought my father's share so that he could retire. The truth is that I worked extremely hard to make all my clients happy. One of those clients also worked hard, very hard, and with the combined success, we did in fact end up being on TV. You see, I don't believe in luck when it comes to success. I think it's a path that you make on your own. My point is simply, people will constantly give you their opinion of you or throw shade. I believe you call these people haters. Don't listen to the haters. Do what you do and don't let negative people affect you. Sometimes you might feel a need to engage or go beast mode on those haters. I submit to you that you should pick and choose those battles wisely. Some of them are worth having, but most really aren't. One thing you might hear or might have heard is this negative connotation associated with millennials. You may or may not consider yourself a millennial, but the reality is you are. I know, I'm very sorry. But I don't make the rules when it comes to generational names. I guess if I ever was lucky, it was we got a cooler, dope generational name like Generation X. You guys got stuck with millennial. But here's what I find interesting. I'm of the opinion that it's incredibly rude or savage to stereotype a group of people. I think it's not smart to put people into named groupings at all. And your generation has a unique opportunity to end this. See, every generation gets further from the hate that once dominated this country. You can be individuals that do not see each other in groups, but as diverse individuals themselves. You know as well as I do that the good that you find in people is not based on skin color, nor religious belief, nor orientation, nor generation for that matter. I challenge each of you to make an effort to see each and every person as a unique individual. Now, I know you probably won't remember me, an old ginger guy you've probably never heard of, and I'm completely fine with that. It's not like I'm not woke. If you remember, I don't even know if we had a commencement speaker at our graduation. What I do hope is that I've impacted at least just one of you today. Something that I said while rambling on today will stick, and you might do something just a little different tomorrow. Remember that small victories are the key to success. You're no longer defined by the last 12 years, and tomorrow you are a new you. Nothing in life will be handed to you. Hard work and learning from mistakes will get you where you want to go. Don't listen to what others say. And if you feel the need to engage the opinions of others, again, choose those battles wisely. And finally, each and every one of you have the ability to change a culture that has been dominated by ignorance and hate. A hate that stems from grouping people into categories instead of identifying each and every person as a unique human being. So before I go, or skirt, skirt, I want you to know that each of you are amazing. You are incredible, or so Gucci. And I am proud to identify with each and every one of you as a Lorena Leopard and an L-Town original. Congratulations, and God bless each and every one of you.